Hello. Oh, goodbye. Oh. Aww. What a way to start our bonus episode. I talked about this a little bit in episode 5. The plan is to just roll some villagers, see what kind of books we can get, and go until we get mending. So that is the plan. There's a few enchantments that I don't want to pass up: efficiency, sharpness, unbreaking, sweeping edge, silk touch, fortune, and looting. So we'll see if we get any of these. We won't re-roll. We'll try to lock it in. And I've got my guy over here, been trying to get some emeralds. Don't have many, but decent amount. It should be enough to at least lock in a couple books. But we'll see. So let's check out what we've got so far. It's going to be a no. Definitely not. I'm not sure why these guys won't turn into librarians. That's odd. So as we're re-rolling these guys, we're going to talk about plans for the upcoming episodes. Kind of give you guys a little background on how I got started. And we'll keep on keeping on. I'm really not sure what the deal is with these guys, though. This is distracting me, because if it's going to be such a pain, I feel like it's got to be something with the pathfinding, right? But you would think when I get rid of that, the other ones did just fine. Really, really odd. And now nobody's turning. Why would that be? Let me troubleshoot this a little bit and see. Well, see, okay. That's so odd. Interesting. It's just taking like a weird second. This guy, didn't he have Curse of Vanishing before? Now he's got Curse of Binding. So we have gotten 5 episodes done so far, and it feels good. I wasn't sure about like the time commitment, or like if I, could edit them the way I wanted to, if I could get the builds done that I wanted to. To give you a little background, the way that I record these, I mentioned in my first episode that I am a newer father, which has been great. Honestly, like I couldn't ask for anything more. It's been an amazing experience so far, and I'm just excited to keep on living life and watching him grow. And yeah, it's just been great. But with that, I don't want to sit around and play video games for hours at a time while he's awake and active and doing things that babies do. So I only record after he goes to bed. And if you know anything about babies, they don't really sleep a lot at night. They like to sleep during the day. He actually does a pretty great job with sleeping, though. So it's about a one time thing at night, getting up to feed him. But then, of course, you get up and you go to work in the morning. Power 5 is a good one. Hold on, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mending is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. We're not gonna do it. But anyhow, as I was saying, so there's a lot of, I shouldn't say there's a lot, there's not as much sleep as I was once used to, which means I don't want to go to bed super late. So all of that to say, my time to record is basically a couple hours a night. But with the way that I've managed to get these episodes planned out and the recording cadence down, it's worked out. And honestly, I've been really proud of what I've been able to put out so far. It brings me back to the old days of posting. Um, but back then I used to post, gosh, I mean, 2 or 3 times a week. Um, and the videos were just so funny. I mean, they actually are still up on the channel. If you go to the playlists, I kept up all of the episodes that I had left on the channel. And I mean, you can watch them if you're interested, or morbidly curious might be a good way to put it. Um, the they just had no structure, right? It was just me kind of doing what I'm doing right now. Um, but every single episode, we would maybe finish a build once every, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 episodes. Um, and the builds were not very impressive, but I had fun doing it. I actually started it in high school. I had some extra time because I had all my credits, and I would just kind of be home alone for a few hours a day. So I just, would go in my basement, click record, and I'd start talking. We're back to these guys not doing what they're supposed to do. Just gonna keep breaking and replacing these trapdoors, seeing if that has any effect. But throughout that beginning of YouTube, no, back up, guys. Back up, back up. Okay. Um, we had a single player series. I was a part of a couple SMPs. Unfortunately, for some reason, I think the first SMP that I was a part of, I deleted that series off the channel. And kind of to that point, when I was making these videos, I was not telling anybody that I was doing it. It was strictly whoever discovered me on YouTube. Those were the only people that knew, you know, who I was and that it was something I was working on and doing. Um, so with that said, my recording time back then was also pretty limited because I would only do it when no one was around. um, I think in a way, like, oh, there we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. Must have to do with like the time. I mean, is that like abnormal to keep getting those curse books on one villager? There's Silk Touch. Okay. And only 6 emeralds. Perfect. Finally, that feels good. Okay, so this guy is Silk Touch. And also, this is an extremely temporary setup. I I do have a plan for the villager trading hall, but it is a very big build, so we're definitely gonna work on it just in a few episodes. Gonna keep gathering materials, getting some farms set and things. Coming up, we are gonna work on an iron farm and a wood farm. Plenty of other builds planned. Little things, just kind of like aesthetic pieces. Next episode, I've talked about the XP farm I'm going to build with some custom redstone that took me way longer to figure out than I would like to admit. I am not super well versed at redstone. I've picked up things after, God, 10, 12 years of playing Minecraft. But for as long as I've been playing, not great, to say the least. But I'm super pumped to get that all installed. I really, really like the idea. And I think it's going to be really unique, a cool like take on an XP farm. This would be so much better if these guys would just, turn. One thing I've noticed in the time of just recording this is that I used to be way better at just rambling. I would literally have nothing, no plan, nothing to talk about, and I could fill a 20-minute episode like it was no one's business. I think as you get older, you start to think about what you're saying a lot more, whereas as a, young or old teenager, I guess at the time, um, you know, you got a lot to say. You got a lot in your mind. Whatever comes to your mind typically comes out of your mouth. There we go. Infinity's a good one too. Looting one, curse of binding. Yeah, we're gonna pass it though. It's not on our list. Eventually, I would like to get all the books. But that is not the goal for today. The goal for today is to get Mending. So I mentioned in my first episode that a lot of my inspiration for the builds that I do comes from Dungeons and Dragons and the campaigns that I've run. The build next week is going to be a take on a not necessarily like a druid's grove, but maybe an abandoned druid's grove, or even like a fey crossing, just a hidden away spot that just seems to have magic emanating from it. And that is, I try to think like what would an XP farm be in in that world. And that's the best I came up with. I think it's fitting though. A lot of the builds that I've been doing have been planned pretty thoroughly before, um, before actually getting into survival and building them. I've been planning a lot of them in creative, but with the XP farm, I've done the redstone in creative, but not the actual build. I have an idea of like what I want. A lot of overgrown, a lot of green, a lot of moss, a lot of leaves to give that like druidic vibe. Sweeping edge 1, we want sweeping edge 3. Close, but no cigar. I also want to tuck a bee farm in there as well. And I did find like the perfect spot. Actually, when I was building this, I just was walking around this area back here and I came upon this cave. I'll show it next episode as we start out. But it is like a perfectly spherical cave, just randomly generated like that. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to build something there, and the XP farm kind of just fell into my lap. It's something I need because, as I've mentioned previously, I die so much in this game. I mean, truly, it is a little embarrassing for, again, the amount of experience I have playing this game. You know, it's just I'm just too busy having fun, I'm not focused on uh surviving. I'm focused on getting things done, making progress, and creating things that I want to create. And sometimes it makes it very difficult to uh, play safely when you're doing that. I've actually tried and failed miserably at starting hardcore worlds. Um, there was a day where I was just like, let me just see if I can beat hardcore Minecraft. Let's give it a shot. I think I created 6 worlds and none of them lasted more than like 2 hours. I really was kind of taken back by that. Uh, but, you know, hardcore Minecraft isn't really my thing. I like the idea of a forever world. And speaking of the Forever World, this one has been going great so far. I really like the direction we're headed. I love like every episode bringing in a new piece of lore, a new building, or you know, a detailed build, whatever it may be. It just adds a lot of life to the world. But this is not my only forever world. I actually have one that I've been working on for uh, maybe 2 years. I was sick of always wanting to go back into one of my Minecraft worlds, and I just like lost the file or it got deleted. I erased it for some reason at some point. Um, I'm gonna go try to see if we can get some wool because I think the nighttime is interrupting them. But anyway, oh, creeper again. So anyway, I set up a world to like that auto backs up. It's a world that I shared with a lot of my friends. Um, they hop on every once in a while, but it was mostly made just for my wife and I. And then my son, when he gets old enough, he'll be able to join in and, build his house. But that, and speaking on that, when I first uh, put this world together, I knew that that was kind of my goal because I knew that at some point I would be a father. And I just thought it would be so cool to have a world to share with your kids that's like that you've already built over time. But in doing so, the world itself is like very automatic. And, what I mean is there's just a lot of farms and it's kind of just an easy mode at this point because, you know, you spawn in and I've got a chest where people can grab netherite armor and all enchanted tools and they can just go on and play because I found like the grind is something that a lot of my friends, at least, it kind of pushes them away from the game. So I try to alleviate that so that they can just come in and build whatever they want, and then, um, without having to strip mine or worry about losing everything because they don't have good loot. Um, so anyway, my point being, I decided that he, my son, when he's ready and old enough and playing the game, in order to join our forever world, he will have to beat Minecraft on his own first, and then he gets the ticket to the forever world. Can't give him everything, right? Ooh, sharpness 4. I did say that we would probably keep that one. All right, I'm not gonna lock it in yet, but we're gonna keep it there. With that said, when he is ready, hopefully, well, not hopefully, I know that he will be able to go ahead and do that on his own. And when he does, he will get the golden key to the forever world. I think for episode 10, I'm going in between two things. So I'm going between either when we reach 2,000 subscribers or when I get to episode 10. Probably I'll do whichever comes first. Um, but I'll release another bonus episode, kind of like this one, where I just give you a tour of my other forever world. I think that would be cool, fun to share because it's not something that I ever really planned on sharing. But now that we're doing this thing, might as well. So, give you something to look forward to in the coming weeks. Um, Talking on reaching 2,000 subscribers, the growth of the channel has been really, really great. I don't really think I expected it to go as well as it's been going. Um, you know, back in the day, it was different because you really just posted your videos and that was that. You could run a social media account, on the side, but it wasn't all as connected as it is today. I really think a lot of the subscribers, well, not think, I can see from from the analytics that a lot of them are coming from the shorts, which, I put out 3 shorts a week. I usually repurpose the content in the videos. I try to make them fun. Um, Slightly different vibe from the actual long form video. Try to make the long form videos relaxing, just feeling like you're talking with a friend. Um, and I hope that comes across. But for the short form stuff, yeah, I don't really have like a certain vibe I'm going for. I just want it to be fun and enjoyable for the people that are watching. So there we go, looting 3. Nice. So it's definitely drawn in more people, a different audience, I guess. But, if they subscribe, that means that they're going to see the videos when they hit the channel and maybe they'll watch and enjoy them too. And that's all I can really ask for. The fact that I have had, I think I mentioned it last video, over 100, I think we're at over 150 now, people that have chosen to subscribe since we started again. I mean, it's just so humbling. Um, and it really makes me feel like this is worth it because I know people are watching, people are enjoying and getting something out of it. And I hope they're getting time to unwind, sit back, throw something on the TV or the second monitor, or, you know, watch it on your phone and relax. Just a peaceful getaway from the world because, as we know, the world is tough. And everything about it is tough, and it seems to only be getting tougher. So, um, to be a space for somebody to just kind of turn off their brain for a little bit and enter a new world, that's all I can really ask for. I actually should, yeah, that is expensive, but I need to lock that in. Might have to go harvest some wheat here if we start running out of emeralds. Speaking of peaceful, this would be a lot more peaceful if these guys would just lock onto their workstation like they're supposed to. Ugh, what a pain. Smite 4, nah. That's Respiration 1, no thank you. Anything, guy? Anything? Come on, guys. I think it's always interesting to hear who the YouTuber you're watching is watching. A lot of when I started out making these videos, 10 plus years ago, um, I was watching like the Beijing Canadian crowd, Jerome ASF, those guys. I don't know if they still make Minecraft videos. I guess I could look that up. Um, I'm not sure, but they aren't, at the time, being 16 years old, it was like super, that was like what I wanted to make. Just that like high energy, fun, like mini games, kind of focus more on that than the builds and the gameplay. Uh, so that's where I got my initial inspiration from. Eventually, in that same time period, I started watching Mumbo Jumbo, who I still watch to this day. Um, and as I've grown and evolved over the time, I've really grown to love Hermitcraft. That is my go-to series on YouTube. Just the community, the different personalities, the different I'll get a lot of villagers building up there. The different styles. It's just something that I really, really enjoy watching, and I've grown to really enjoy a lot of a lot of looting threes, a lot of the creators that are involved in that. Mumbo is still probably my most watched. I watch a lot of Green as well, Gem, Pearl, Scar, B-Dubs, X, pretty much all those guys. Um, I don't think there's a single hermit that I haven't watched, but those are my like the most common channels that I go to. Hermitcraft was the original inspiration for um, Vision SMP, which was the second SMP I was a part of in my YouTube journey, and it was one that I ran. The Nowadays, like as an adult, I would like to do that again um, when the time is right. Back then, everyone was trying to do an SMP, and there would be an application video where you'd get a bunch of submissions, and at the time though it really depended on your view count, obviously. So sometimes if you got 15 people, you took all 15. And with Vision it was kind of that case. There was some picking and choosing, but really not a ton. I should have known that it was nighttime because these guys weren't doing anything. um, but with that said, there were people that I played with on that SMP and on concept as well that I would still, I don't talk to them today, but we're still in contact. Um, and, if they reached out and said, hey, want to play a game together? I would say, absolutely. I mean, we really forged some great friendships back then, but there's also people that were kind of just there to, well, some people were kind of just there to ruin it. I actually did have uh, a couple people that joined Vision, and there wasn't the correct like anti-griefing plugins in place, so they actually were able to like change their game mode, go and destroy some of the builds that the other members did. And that was pretty discouraging because after that, um, I'd only ever received positive feedback on my videos and only ever had great experience with the people I played with. And after that, the trust was kind of broken a little bit. I had to ban them from the server, and then eventually I had to ban them from the channel because they were kind of just constantly disliking, adding negative comments, um, and creating other accounts to kind of jump on that as well. At the time it was upsetting. Now it's just like, I was, oh God, at the time of Vision, I was probably 18. They were probably 15, 16. What can you do, But I think that's the fun of being back as an adult. Um, there's just the fact that, maybe one day in the not so distant future, I'll be playing with a like minded group of adults on a server where everyone's committed. Um, it just the idea of that happening is really exciting, and I do hope that it does. But right now, I'm totally cool and happy being focused on the single player world. I think, when you're on a multiplayer server, the overall vibe of the content is just totally different. You're obviously um, focus more on your interactions than what's going on. So it does give you like more opportunity to create content. For the single player stuff, as I mentioned earlier, I used to be way better at just like blabbing. Granted, I have been talking for like a half hour. This is probably the most I've talked in weeks. But Feather Falling 4 is good, but not what we need right now. But, being on a multiplayer server, you at least have other people to bounce off of. In the single player world, it's very much, this is what I'm doing. This is the inspiration behind it. You're talking over what's going on. Um, and honestly, I've found it a little difficult to be entertaining in those moments. Um, I think as the episodes have gone on, it's gotten better. But even between episode 1 and episode 5, the general feeling of my commentary, I think, has shifted. It'd be awesome if we could get this guy to lock in a good trade so I can stop coming to that wall. Another looting 3. Hmm. Her. Do. I don't know if there's like a trick to getting these guys to lock onto their station. I wonder. Yeah, I just wonder if it's just the way that it's placed. Hmm. Not sure. Riptide, no thank you. Riptide, no thank you. Let's see here. Another fire aspect. Would be good, but it's not what we're looking for. Why is this guy kind of giving me a side smirk? Okay. He changed his face. He was a little embarrassed by it. Man, oh man. Nice thing is this pumpkin farm's just running as we go. It is not the most amazing thing, but it's getting the job done. We had a good few rolls there for a second, and now we're kind of back to not getting what we need. It's all right. Can't win them all. Hey, bud, can you just look at this? Please? Please? Yes. Yes. Come on. Hey. I'm just so confused. Like, what are these guys looking at? Is it really the trap door? Is that like what's. But then when the trap door isn't there, it doesn't seem to make a difference. If somebody in the comments knows why this is being so difficult, please let me know. Because I just don't understand what's going on here. Unbreaking 3. Did we get that yet? No. Okay. Perfect. We already have looting, so we can get rid of that. Go here. Unbreaking 3. I'm going to fix this sign too, and we will lock that one in. And we're going to need some more emeralds. But that does mean that this wall is done. All right. So that means we are only dealing with these guys now. Sweeping edge 2. Let me... No way.